I don't know if anybody just heard me, but I was talking and I don't think anybody heard. So I'm going to start all over again. So, yeah, I have a very, very special guest on the channel today. And I'm doing really good. I've already messed up. But I have a very special guest on the channel today, and the reason I have this guest is because you guys all were writing to me and putting in the comments that you would like to meet this person. So I got this person for you. I went ahead and I did just that. Okay? And so, we all know what my show is all about here, and for a lot of you, you have been watching my show for a long time, and you know that I've had some pretty amazing guests on here with just different takes on life, different perspectives. I had my best friend Natalie on the show a few years ago, who's a full-time 1099 drummer right in Tampa, Florida, who shared with us, with all of us, basically why she's one of the most positive people I've ever met. And she explained how she overcame so many, crazy people in her life, egomaniacs and situations in her life, her whole life, basically. And so you guys all got to learn all about her, and it helped all of you take away a really great message. So we want to talk about handling narcissists their entire life. This is a person who's coming on my show today who has overcame so many egomaniacs and nuts and narcissistic people at every level, every turn of his life. He is currently a movie producer, a writer, a director, an editor, a instrumentalist, an actor, a comedian, a husband, a father of two, a business owner. I don't know if I've missed anything. He has overcome a lot in his life. He overcame, you know, bullies at school, being told constantly in his career he needed to do this and he needed to do that. Constantly people telling him what he needs to do. He's had egomaniac bandmates early on in his career. Then he actually worked with these people. He his job every day for, I believe it was 25 years, we'll have to ask him, was to be on the phone with these talent buyers and agents and managers and record labels of the biggest celebrities on the planet. He even worked for Sony Records. He did an internship with them in college, and yet he's still pushing through in the music and entertainment industry, doing what he loves and he does best. He produces entertainment and joy for people every single week. And he also teaches other people how to do that. So if you want to talk to someone who is tough as nails and willing and determined to not let awful people get to you in life, this is a person you want to get to know. And I'll also add that not only is this person one of my greatest and best friends I have, but he's been a pillar of strength and hope to me my entire life. He's given me courage, integrity, and self-esteem to push me to do my very best in times I never thought I could. So he's indeed one of my heroes, and I get to call him my brother. And he is also what I consider to be an introvert that turns into an extrovert on stage. So who knows? I might even learn something about him today myself. So without further ado, folks, here is Shawnee Garrity.
Hello.
How you doing over there? We only live 20 minutes from one another, but we just decided to do it like this because he's a very busy man, and I'm actually surprised that you're doing this. I don't think you're doing it for me. I think you're doing it for everybody else.
No, happy to do it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Shawn and I have been performing together since we could both walk. We grew up in Catholic school, watched every popular music video. We went to acting camps, right, since we were kids. You performed in like every school play there was. And then you picked up guitar when you were in 6th grade. Is that right?
Yeah.
How
Dad,
did you, what's that?
I was just going to say, Dad gave me his guitar and taught me the 2 songs he knew how to play, which were Wipeout and Smoke on the Water.
And then how did you end up in a cover band when you were 14?
I think it was 15. But anyway, I was taking lessons, I think, at that time, guitar lessons, and I saw like an ad for a band that was looking for a guitarist. And obviously, I couldn't drive yet, so Dad had to drive me over to the place where these guys were rehearsing, and they were all like 20, 21, and I was 15. And they talked about it after, like, oh, this little kid, pulls up with his dad and lugs his guitar and his amp in, and then they were like, as soon as he started playing, we were like, holy shit! Like, well, can I swear on here or
Yeah,
no?
you can swear.
Okay, just want to make sure. They were like, holy shit, this kid's awesome. We got to have him in the band. So they accepted me into the band, and I started just playing, um, you know, cover gigs with them, and then you joined when I was
17.
17? Yeah. And you were 14, right?
Like, isn't it so nuts to think about the fact that we were literally doing this? Like, our parents had to drive us to these gigs and like be there the whole time. And the owners of the venues let us play. Like, so we've been around drunks and crazy people since we were.
Well, yeah, you should mention too that they were just all like dive bars that we were playing in. So it was all like town drunks, and that's back when you could smoke in bars too. So the bars were filled with smoke, and we were just trying to sing and like coughing and shit. Thank God you can't smoke in bars anymore, or at least most of them.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy. And then you performed, like, you did all the, remember at St. Bernard's they had the state competitions, and you had to go and like you had we had to try to like compete against all the other high schools.
With
And you
yeah, and drama, yeah, they're doing
Yep.
plays. Yeah, that was
Yep.
awesome.
And you did all the musicals, right? The whole 4 years you were there? Well,
Yeah, I was in I acted in every production that St. Bernard's did the whole time I was there.
well,
I don't know if Dad signed me up for baseball and basketball in like 6th and 7th grade, and I sucked at both of them. So I picked up guitar, and I liked that way better. And then, acting I was good at because I was a nerd, and I got along with the people that were in drama. So I just stuck with that.
and then you initially went to college for to learn what was the first, was it jazz was the first?
Well, yeah, I went to Western Connecticut State and majored in business and hated it, but I was also minoring in music, and I convinced mom and dad to let me transfer to University of New Haven because they had a music industry major that I wanted to take. So I did that.
And there you were working for Sony Records that year. I remember Missy is Shawn's wife, and going to visit you in New York City. And I remember, you don't even remember this, but you were telling me what J Lo's green room list was of all, they were all talking about it at Sony Records. Like, and it
Yeah,
was
I don't know.
crazy things, like she wanted like white walls and plain yogurt and like yeah.
Yeah, keeping up with the me being a nerd. So one of the opportunities I got from that internship was Rage Against the Machine. I don't know if you remember this. Rage Against the Machine was doing a signing at the Virgin Megastore in like Times Square. So we got to go and like meet them and bypass. There was like a huge line of people waiting to get something signed by them, and we bypassed the line. Me and the guys that I worked for at Sony, and we went up to the front of the line, and I had them sign like a CD or whatever at the time. And I just couldn't think of anything to say to Zach De La Roca, so I was like, does your hand hurt from signing all those autographs? he just he just looked at me awkwardly. He was like, yeah. And that was it. And I walked away. I was like, God damn it. So stupid.
Who else did, go ahead?
Couldn't think of anything better to say.
who else who else Okay, so we gotta try to get everyone to know your whole story. And then you you started working at a company that was like the major information provider, and you had to talk to celebrities Well, some of the celebrities represented themselves, but mostly, I mean, it's not like it is now. This is like 25 years ago, right? At this
Yeah.
point. And these people were like, I just remember you telling me about it. Then you got me the job there. I was working, putting data entry in there. But I had to call some of these people too. And I remember talking to you about it. We were in our early 20s. And at this point, we were already like doing the original band thing. And I was like, these people are awful. And you're like, yep.
I mean, it's it's like any other industry. There's people that are just cutthroat and like all about their own gains and that kind of thing. But there are also people that were really nice too. It's a mix. Just like I feel like every industry is kind of the same. But yeah, the mega like narcissists probably are attracted to that industry and a few other ones above, so there's more prestige and to be attained and that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it definitely attracts that type of personality.
Yeah. I mean, and you have the personality. That's why I also thought it was a great idea to have you come on the channel, because you're kind of like the person that's like that was in my life, just like suck it up and deal with it. And
That's my attitude about everything. Like if someone's uh you know being an asshole, you just got to ignore them, and if you can, get yourself out of the situation, and if you can't, then just deal with it.
yeah, yeah, I know. But see, like that's like growing up with you. Like I'll tell everyone the story about and again, like this is something I think I needed, because I tend to be an overthinker and like really sensitive about everything. And I remember we had to play the show at that stupid dive bar in Pawtucket, and we were sitting in the car, and I had just found out that my ex-husband was cheating on me again, and I was devastated. And I never liked to cry in front of you or like show any emotion, because you're not into it. And
Nope.
yeah, and so because it just makes you just get uncomfortable by it. So I just would not go talk to you about it. But there were times I had to come talk to you about things. And I remember I was like, oh man, it happened again. I can't believe it. I don't want to go up there and perform tonight. And you're like, well, you have to suck it up. And then we looked up at the roof, and there was a cat walking around, rocking on top of the roof of the bar, and we just both busted out laughing. And then that was it. I was always all right, and I could go finish the night and do what I had to do. But yeah, this has like been your whole life. So you also got through making and producing and directing a movie that went on Netflix. It's like
Not No, not Netflix, Amazon.
it was on Amazon. I thought it went
Amazon
on.
and no, it was on Amazon and Tubi.
Okay. Where can people find that movie now?
I don't think it's on there anymore. So it might be. I think you might be able to. It's called Vibration. It came out in 2020. I think it might still be on either Amazon or Tubi. But actually, if you just look up Vibration 2020, there might be some other platforms it's available on. But I just found out the other day. I don't think I told you this. The distribution company that picked it up and got it put on Amazon and Tubi is out of business.
Oh, jeez.
And I read this article about a bunch of people they owed money to that are just SOL because they're out of business and they're just not paying them. So not that the movie made any money, but if it did, I probably wouldn't have seen it.
Wow. See, this is how this stuff works. Like, it's crazy. And yeah, tell people a little bit about like that movie and how you came up with the concept for it and what it's about, and then like what some of what you learned. And yeah.
Don't make a movie with your friends is what I learned. No, based on the amount of resources we had, which was next to nothing. I mean, we're all proud of what we made, even though it's you can't compare it to the $1 million movies out there because our budget was like $10,000. So it is what it is. But I mean, it's just something I've wanted to do my whole life. Like growing up, we always used to watch horror movies and sneak up after we got put to bed, and while our parents were watching Nightmare on Elm Street or The Exorcist or whatever, and just sneak up and watch those. So it's always been in the back of my head that I wanted to make a horror movie. I've always been inspired by horror stuff in general. I don't know why. I think it's partially that it's like nostalgic for me because I have fond memories of like watching horror movies growing up. And also, I think there's the reason a lot of people that are into horror movies are into that stuff is that when you compare it to your life, it makes your life seem awesome because
Yeah.
everybody in the movie is just getting killed. So that I think that's just on a philosophical level, I think that's why people are into like horror and stuff. But anyway, yeah, I just finally like got to a point in my life where I had the time and the resources and the friends that were willing to do it to make it happen. So I was just like, let's do it. So I wrote a script. I gave it to all of our friends that produced it with us, and they were all into doing it. So I went on a local casting site and found local actors and just put a schedule together and got some permits and filmed it and then just me and the editor spent a year or so. So it took me, in terms of the timeline, it took me about a year to write it. I think that was like 2016, and then another year to film it, and then another year to edit it, and then we got it picked up in 2020.
Like that's how much time goes into this. I don't think people realize. So, yeah, you guys all just to remind everyone that you guys saw the Narcissist song on the channel the other day, and that just is an example of like that's what Shawn does. He does all the editing, putting like none of what anything I ever do creatively would exist without Shawn, because he taught me like how to play instruments even though I really don't. And
Yes, you
and
do.
and how to write songs and stuff, and but like all the putting it together is all you. Like just to edit that video, I can't imagine like how long that took. So, and I know that to do the whole series, like what do we have, 5 episodes? Do we have
Yeah.
5 episodes altogether that we've created since January? That's how long all that took, you guys. Like it takes so much time when you want to do something like this. But yeah, so um I was going to tell everyone too the whole concept of like how we thought about wow, that's nuts.
I
Cuz
don't. How did we? I don't even know.
yeah, well, so this is how the whole thing went, you guys. Like first of all, you guys should know, if you remembered me telling you about this or not, I'm going to remind everybody on the channel that I don't I started the whole channel, this channel, just being able to be myself, and I didn't tell anybody I started the channel. I didn't tell friends, I didn't tell family. Nobody knew I started this channel back in 2018. And there's a reason I did that. I just kind of knew like I want to find the people that were going through similar things or like understood this. So anyway, um what happened is at one point I remember I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll start an Instagram too for people that are on Instagram," because that was pretty popular like a few years back. And then what happened was all friends and family found me on Instagram, and it was for my business. It was for this channel, it was for survivors of abuse. And and then it's like you're learning that they actually ruin the algorithm of you getting more fans and followers because they're peeking on your page every day and they're not engaging with it or react or saying anything. So then it's like it just goes to show you, like, so just so you guys all know, you guys are the only people we've told about the channel. Like we haven't told anybody that we're doing this. So you guys are almost like the guinea pigs that can come over to the Wow That's Nuts channel over here. And no, I can't put the banner up while I'm talking, I guess. But anyway, yeah, you guys so the whole thing that happened was, and I'm going to get back to Shawn talking here, but the whole thing that happened was I was thinking about that Shawn's an editor and like he does really amazing work. And I know that I didn't do any of that here on this channel. I didn't put together anything like crazy editing wise. So I was like, all right, maybe I need to step it up a notch and go and get more quality videos and try that crap. And then I was thinking about it and I was like, all right, if I'm going to go to you and have you edit videos for my channel, why wouldn't I just do something with you? And then I thought about all of you guys on here on the channel telling me that, I like coming on your channel because you're funny and amongst other things. And so then I was thinking, wouldn't the concept for a channel be really cool of just nothing but positive news and positive information plus like humor? And then I came to you and I was like, what do you think about that? And usually anytime I have an idea, you're like, no. But this time you were like, yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like that concept. Like, so that's how we created the channel Wow That's Nuts that we just released. And yeah, we're going to put out the first episode on Sunday night for all of you to see. I'll make sure I remind everybody, but yeah, the first episode's going to be released Sunday night. I hope that you guys like it. And but yeah, so getting back to like, that's how this whole thing sort of happened. But so we have to ask you, oh, actually, guys, I'm going to do a little thing first here before we go back to asking Shawn some questions. You know how I like to surprise my guests sometimes on the show. I like to do little surprises, and so yeah, I got a little surprise. Nathan put this together last night. Nathan, you guys know on my channel that moderates the channel, and I wanted to show you some moments here.
Oh boy.
This is, if you guys can hear me, Shawn is, let's see. A little choppy. Shawn literally made all the graphics, put this whole thing together. This video.
Right in front of you. See the canyons broken by now. See the tuna beats clear in the sea. See the looking fires at night. See the oil fields at first lighting. See the bird releasing her mouth. See the blood on the coast out. Day.
where's the yay button? Where's the
You need
yeah.
It's appropriate ending.
Yeah. So real quick, so the other things I think that would be interesting for you to talk about is um well, you know, people will probably want to know this. What is a story? What is like a story that comes to mind for you of like overcoming a really crappy person, a really toxic person, like in the industry, or that you had to deal with for a long time, that like just was an egomaniac? I mean, I know someone that comes right to mind that you and I both had to deal with for 7 years. But yeah, how do you overcome these people?
I mean, it just kind of goes back to what I was saying before. Like, there's depending on your personality, there's so much you can take and not take working with somebody. You know that there's been plenty of people I've worked with, uh, you know, professionally in my life that you know, I think everybody has a certain level of like self-centeredness and narcissism. Maybe narcissism is self-centeredness. I would say at least. I'm guilty of that myself sometimes. Uh, and there's so much you can take of that with somebody, and then if once it gets past that point, you got to ask yourself, like, do I really want to continue this relationship with this person and stay in this situation, or is it too much for me? Do I need to move on? And that's just a choice only you can make, and an answer only you can give to yourself. And that's, just when it gets unbearable being with somebody, I think it's just important to ask yourself that question, and then, based on your answer, come up with a plan to move on if that's what you need to do.
Well, to answer a question, to one of you in the comments this a few weeks back asked me how I left my ex-husband. You wanted to know how I did it. This actually, I don't know if you realize this, but you had a big part to play in helping me to leave, because we were in Block Island.
I didn't like them.
Yeah. I mean, how did that feel all those years? Me dating one dirtbag after another. You had to sit back and watch. How did that feel?
Some of them were more tolerable than others.
Yeah. But I mean, once again, who was I ever meeting? All we did was play out every weekend. So we were meeting people, we were meeting other musicians and people in bars. That's all we were ever meeting.
Well, that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why I think we stopped doing it. Like, we were playing out all the time, and you were meeting these guys that just were not good for you, and that's one of the reasons why we haven't played live in, God, like 8 years, maybe something like that. I don't know.
The last time we played a live show, the original show, was 2019 at Alchemy. That was the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But I mean, we've, obviously lately we've been talking about, like, because we're making an album, and we're talking about doing it again. But I think we're at different points now where, like, we have the knowledge to like, when we were doing this all the time, we were like, we'll take any gig we can get. We want exposure. We want to go out and play. We want to do everything we can to further, our love of playing music and playing live and stuff like that. And that can have obviously it took a toll on us. And now if we were to do it again, we would be smarter about it, and we would do things differently. And I feel like when we were like, going back to when we were doing this, we were in the mindset that we have to cater to every single person that's there to see us, and like, do what we can to be nice to them and befriend them and all this kind of stuff. But I think we've both kind of learned you can't do that. If someone's like up your ass for the wrong reason, you can't give into it. You gotta push them away.
Yes. Yep. And we found, like, how many people did we have, like, through the years, if everyone only knew all the stories of how many people were in our lives telling us, you need to do this and you need to do that. And especially as a woman, I mean, you saw it, like, yeah, constantly being told, like, you need to dress a certain way, you need to dress more sexy, you need to do this, you need to stay after shows and make friends. And I mean, look at all the dirtbag managers and stuff that tried to come and, like, I mean, so much stuff went on, but, like, and we got so close to, remember we got signed to MySpace Records and then 2 weeks later it went on.
Yeah. Awesome.
Or the time we were supposed to open for Yellow Card and the lead singer had, like, a throat infection that summer. That was going to be, like, one of the biggest shows we ever played. Like, we had so many letdowns, and we went through so much crap. But yeah, I mean, so for those of you that don't know, Shawn still plays. He's playing in a cover band every weekend, and you're playing for more people than we ever did. But you're playing covers all the time, so it's good in one respect, I'm sure, and in the other respect, you probably miss being creative. That's why we're back doing this again.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it satisfies my love of, like, playing music, but like, there's still that aspect of being creative and making my own music, like making our own music, that is lacking from that big time, which is why we're doing this, like you said.
Yeah, I didn't realize, it's crazy. These last 6 months that we started doing this again, I didn't realize how much I needed to have that outlet in my life again and be doing that. And so you guys that really liked the Narcissist song that Shawn edited and put together for all of us, we're gonna have that on Patreon, and we're gonna have it so, like, you guys can just pay a few, until we have enough people on YouTube to have memberships, that you guys could pay just like a couple bucks a month, and we'll be giving you something, like, great to either view or to download as a song, or like something that we're going to be doing. So yeah, and if you guys are on any of the other platforms that are listening to this today, like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and you guys use those sites every day, please head over to Wow That's Nuts, and make sure that you sign up. What happened here? I had the banner here. Yeah. So it's Wow That's Nuts. So we're on here. We're on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and make sure that you help us out here and subscribe. We're tired. We don't want the trolls that just we know we have to authentically grow this audience, like, from scratch, and it's going to take time. And so we appreciate all of you coming over from this channel to go over to another place that you can find to heal and laugh and, like, be able to enjoy life. And so I'm going to show you a little bit from the behind the scenes that goes on when Shawn and I make these videos here. I think that you'll find it interesting what goes on behind the scenes here. See if I can find it. Let's see.
Who's no wife? I guess that's life. Keep your I guess that's life.
When I was a boy, I never imagined things would turn out like this. Nothing could have prepared me for the depths of my
Come upstairs, dinner's ready. Come upstairs. So tune in, subscribe, like, you know the drill. Do all that stuff that you do on the social medias. And if you do that, we'll keep doing this. Keep eating hummus and having gas.
So that's just Just a little bit of what goes on behind the scenes when Shawn and I are making these fun videos and for all of you. Yeah. So is there anything else today, Shawn, that you would like for people to know about you? Um, anything that would be interesting you find that people would like to know about your I know this is probably very uncomfortable for you. You hate stuff like this.
I mean, yeah, yes and no. Yeah. No, I just like going back to what you were saying before, like being like having how important it is to have a creative outlet. Uh, anytime, like being a business owner, I'm constantly working and that kind of thing, I find it very like the biggest challenge in life for me is finding a good balance of work, home, um, and being creative. And there's times where I get too busy and I don't spend time doing creative stuff like this, and I get really stressed when that happens. Like uh, I just get like overworked and you know depressed when I don't have time to create stuff. So
Yeah.
doing this is a huge benefit to just my mental health and in general, just being able to. I don't know why, but I have the need to create stuff, whether
Yep.
it's it doesn't matter if it's movies, videos, music is obviously my favorite, but it's really important. So for all the creative people out there, that's my advice: is just be good to yourself and give yourself time to be creative. Because if you don't, it's gonna have a negative effect on your life.
It's so true. It's so true. I mean, look what I do all day. I have to hear some of the worst things going on for people every single day, and you're absolutely right that when I don't have that balance, I start to deteriorate too. And yeah, I mean, everybody out there should probably, if you haven't found the thing that you love to do, people have found what they love to do later on in life. I know people in their 70s and 80s finally found like the thing they love to do. So keep looking for things that hobbies, and try different things in life, and then, you'll find something that you love and you'll have that purpose. I think people really start to self-destruct when they don't wake up with that passion, that thing that they really love doing every day. That's when you start to die, you know. And
I regularly have people in their 60s and 70s that come to my music school and take lessons that are just doing it for like the first time in their life, and they love it.
yep,
So it's never too late.
yep. Hey, I wanted to know, there's nothing I wanted to put up here to see if you saw this. I don't think you have, but see, let's see if you saw this that went on the other day. Tell me what the heck happened here. You look so happy. Oh my god. Yeah, so what was that all about?
So yeah, Blue Man Group. We took mom and dad to Blue Man Group for their 50th wedding anniversary, and I got called up on stage, and I had to go through a marriage in front of my wife. It was a little awkward. Yeah. So after that part of the video, they like put me and the other random woman that they pulled out of the crowd together and put a wedding veil on me instead of her, and had us walk out together.
How many times were we on tour and the waitress would come over and be like, "Ladies, can I get you something?" She'd come from behind and see your hair and be like, "Ladies."
And then be like, "Oh, I'm sorry." All the time.
All the time. Yeah, Shawn and I went on tour for, what was it, like 4 years in a row. We take all the time that we had both companies we were working for at the time, and they would let us go on tour for a month, and that was like unheard of back then. And we got to tour. That was probably like the best thing I've ever done in my life, because we got to wake up every day and play shows in different cities. And yeah, we have some crazy stories on the road too that we'll always remember.
Yeah, good times.
Yep. But yeah, I guess the last thing I want to say too is also just a big reminder to everybody watching this today. And thank you for allowing me to have my brother on the channel today, as I should have thought of this a long time ago to have him on the channel. But just wrapping up with everybody on why it's good to laugh. I don't know if you agree, Shawn, like, having that in my life is probably what kept me alive. Humor. And for many years I didn't find nothing was funny. That side of me went away, and it's back now. So it's just really good. I think they say laughter is the best medicine for a reason, right? And
Yep.
you definitely need to do that. Well, speaking of laughter, everybody, I hope that you come over to the Wow That's Nuts channel, and that you subscribe to the channel, and that you enjoy the first episode. It's probably going to have a lot to do with yeah, those things.
Lots of that.
Lots of that. And thanks for coming on the show, Shawnee.
Glad to do it.
We really appreciate it. Friends. And thanks for hanging around. The audience just magically went away. And thanks for hanging around to be embarrassed by the videos. I hope you enjoyed it.
Lovely.
All right, everyone. We'll have more surprises for all of you. Make sure you head over so you can see them. And thanks for your time today, bro.
Anytime.
All right. Smell everybody later.
Bye.
Bye.